This is the discussion for the game Below, released December 14th of 28 December 20 Jesus Christ. December 14th, 2018. Developed and published by Capybara Games. Costs $25 or your regional equivalent. Platforms Xbox One, Microsoft Windows. I haven't checked recently whether that's changed. I'm not sure if they're bringing it to Switch or anything. But yeah, Below is an action-adventure roguelike where you play as one or many dudes trying... Okay, God. Okay. This isn't the actual description from Steam. The one from Steam is kind of just like really short and cryptic. I wrote out a fake game description that is actually really probably not good to put on the internet.
Do it. Put it.
Okay. Below is an action-adventure roguelike video game where you play as one or many dudes trying to figure out how deep this fucking hole in the ground is. Probably about incels or something. Probably a metaphor for that. But yeah, Below is a top-down kind of hack and slash roguelike action-adventure video game where you are this guy and you wash up on the shores of this weird island, and there's this weird door, and basically you go down this cave system and you just get deeper and deeper, and you got a lantern, and there's crafting mechanics and hunger systems, and
Jeez, you're just speeding through the discussion.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do like a really brief description of the game so we can actually start like
pretty much a survival roguelike.
Yeah. But we can give our initial impressions, introduce ourselves.
Yeah. Go ahead, host.
All right. So I'm Zach, and how much have I played it Below? I've played it for 22 hours. I think I'm pretty close to beating it. I'm pretty sure you need all the lantern bits to beat it, and I think I've got like 6 of those to go. And
you know how many floors there are?
As far as I can tell, there's just 20.
20?
Yeah. Yeah, as far as I can tell, there's no way to go deeper than 20.
Okay. So to beat the game is collect the pieces. Right.
Yeah, it's pretty much... I watched the ending of it just because it seems like there's just... You gather all the pieces, you put them at the top of the lighthouse, you go through this door and you do something, and that's basically it. I have pretty mixed feelings about this game. A lot of those feelings are negative. I think this game has a lot of potential just based on, like, I think the gameplay itself is actually pretty good, like, hack and slash, going through these floors, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. It's all really cryptic. It's all really creepy. I think the atmosphere the game creates is really good. I think the sound is really good. But there are a lot of negatives. A lot of those negatives being, like, one-shot traps that make the game incredibly frustrating when you have to consider it sends you back to the beginning. It takes away your light source, which is really important. And it also takes away all of your food, so you have to go grinding for that shit again. Yeah. So that just makes it incredibly frustrating for me. So I've got some pretty mixed feelings about this game.
Yeah. I'm Nick, and I'd say I initially was really liking the game, because I just ended up getting, like, lucky on my first run. And then I also thought, like, the beginning area was hard. But then I really started seeing the faults and cracks and just the bruises on the game when you reach to about level 6 and then have to just delve deeper than that. And then, yeah, that's where it just... You see all the wounds in the game just start pouring out. So I also have mixed feelings in the game, mostly negative.
Yeah, I think that's a big downside of a lot of horror games. I wouldn't really consider this a horror game, but it's like everything is really creepy and really interesting when you're starting it. But once you've kind of gone through it 4 or 5 times, and it starts to get annoying.
Yeah. First, let's back up. Let's back up to the very, very beginning of the game, because that is actually where the first negative impression comes from. It's just like start is pretty much right when you start the game, you just see a boat in the ocean floating, and then the camera like slowly pans out
No, I think it starts out like really panned out,
Yeah, somewhat, and
it
then
slowly
it
pans in.
continuously
Like you don't even
pans
see the
further.
boat at the beginning. You're just like watching water, and then you're like, oh,
Ah.
those are clouds, and then eventually it gets like, oh, there's a boat,
Oh yeah, then it clears. Yeah,
and it takes like fucking 5 minutes to
yeah.
zoom in
So
on this boat.
it just takes so long, and it is so slow, and I just regret not skipping it because I thought I missed something, but no, it just is that scene for a good solid at least 2 minutes, probably way longer.
Like the ending scene, the ending cutscene in the game is a lot like that. I had to watch it on like 2 times speed.
Oh my god.
When I was watching it on 2 times speed, it looked like it was playing at normal speed. So I don't know if they just like exported those videos with like, I don't know, like double the frame rate or something, like running at like half the speed. I don't know, but it's just
they're trying to make
really,
the game seem more than it is.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's
Like
that's something you would try to do to like give this sense of like weight to everything, like make it seem like this is important, but it just is really weird and stupid.
And then it just ends with you just hit the beach and then you get to play.
Yeah.
I have to say, after the start though, I was alright with like very little direction in the game. This game doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah, nothing.
At all. Just like Dark Souls and many other games are trying to adapt now, where it's just trying to teach you gameplay in the first like few like hours so through level design and stuff rather than straight up tutorial and text.
I mean, I wouldn't even say that. I am a little bit annoyed. I don't dislike games that don't tell you very much. You can do a lot with that, but when it comes down to like really important elements of the game design, I think something should be implied. Like,
I agree.
Like
I'd say so. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Like one of the examples I'll give is, I'm not sure if you got to this part, but the part with the black tentacles around like floor 15.
Yeah, I got there.
Okay.
I would say a way sooner example.
But yeah, that's just like the biggest thing that jumps out is like that area without a certain piece of gear would be significantly harder.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah.
Oh.
There's one piece of gear that you get like a couple floors earlier that you can actually get really consistently because you can buy it from the merchant, and it's the like, I think it's called like the Void Helm or something.
Yeah,
and it basically reduces the damage that you take from the shadow monsters and the tentacles by about 75%, so like pretty significantly.
Oh wow.
And without that, I think those floors would be borderline, well, I mean, they wouldn't be impossible, but they would just be really, really difficult and really stupid.
You would have to be on top of your A game and make sure all your stuff is completely filled in your backpack.
Yeah, I mean, even with the Void Helm, I still had to have like a full stack of, well, like half a stack of bandages, like the plus bandages to like regain health and stuff, because those floors are a slog.
Yeah.
But so I think like even having like some like flavor text or something like this will protect you against the darkness or something like cryptic like that, I think is important, because otherwise you're just gonna have no idea what any of the items do.
Yeah.
And I think that's just like kind of trying to cover up poor game design.
Yeah. I also was annoyed when I spent like the 25 light sources on a fire, like one of the beginning fires, and then I accidentally used the teleport right away because I'm like, what is this? What does this mean? So I'm just gonna click it. And yeah, teleported me back to the fire before. I'm just like, wow, that was stupid and a waste.
Yeah.
But it was a one-time use and way easier than the black helmet. Like,
yeah, like
that's, yeah.
I'm fine with it kind of fits with a game like this, it being super cryptic about everything, but I think you need to like kind of strike a balance between like just telling them nothing and that impacting like a person's experience on the game, and you wanting your game to be like really, you wanting the players to not know very much. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe you could like find like something scratched on the wall or something that like tells you what certain pieces of armor does. Maybe that's something you have to go find or something, but I think there needs to be a little bit more than just, you just figure it out from a shit ton of trial and error.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the pieces are pretty obvious what they do, like I've completely forgotten what this thing I forget what this helmet's called, but it's like a helmet with a big gem on it, and it basically like sucks up all the gems in the vicinity, so you don't have to like run after them, and it gives you 3 times the amount of gems, so it's amazing for grinding.
Yeah, that's really good. So yeah, let's get to the mechanics of this game. I'd say one of the first few things you notice straight away is your character has a sword and board. Very simple combat. Attacking just gives a nice slash, and if you run, you do like a jump attack on it. And then you also have a bow as a secondary weapon and arrows in that.
Yeah, you can also find other weapons, like later on you find a spear. I'm pretty sure that there's a hammer in the game somewhere. I still have not found it.
Yeah, I haven't found any other weapons either.
I think the spear is kind of garbage. I don't know why you would use it.
You also have this inventory system. One is what's the slots? Is it 6x6, 5x5? I can't remember.
I think it's 4x4.
4x4, yeah, it's something little. But you have 4x4 for like your food supplies and your water and any cooking that you made, and then you also have like another 4x4 slots for your crafting materials, your arrows, bandages, bombs, you name it, whatever. And honestly, I think this is another downside. I just feel like the backpack is way too small, or at least how they handled the inventory system is just poorly done.
I didn't have a huge problem with that. I think it does definitely make you have to like manage your space that you're working with.
Here I'll explain it so people would know. Pretty much whatever you pick up takes a slot in that inventory, and you only have 4x4, so 16 slots. And certain items will be able to actually stack. So bandages you can stack up to 8, arrows you can stack up to 8,
torches,
except for crafting materials now. Only a couple crafting materials you can like bundle them together. But like I pick up a stick and then I pick up another stick. That takes 2 slots in my inventory.
Yeah.
Instead of stacking together.
But I think if you were able to
stack
stack up sticks and stuff,
if you get 3 sticks, you can bundle those. But that doesn't happen to every single resource. It's only sticks and string that you can bundle. And so, like, I don't know. To me, like, this was at least early in the game before I really, really started somewhat learning. I don't even think I learned that much. But it's like I would pick up some slimes and stuff in backpack on one level, and then I'm trying to figure out where to find like the other ingredient to make bandages. So I would like hold on at least like 2 of them and like just go buy a bunch of resources and not being able to find anything to combine them with. So that was annoying.
Yeah.
I honestly just didn't like that the arrows, bombs, and bandages are together with the crafting supply itself. It just made it really, really small, felt like.
Yeah. I don't think that bothered me quite as much as like some of the other stuff in the game.
Okay.
But I can see how that would be frustrating.
Yeah, it was just annoying to me because I already have to worry about so many other things.
Yeah.
So another mechanic, the survival mechanics. You want to explain that?
Yeah, sure. You've got 3 meters. You've got food, you got hunger, and you've got temperature. And obviously, food and water go down. There's pretty consistent spots to like drink from. You've got water bottles water containers that you carry with you. You can find food pretty consistently most of the time on most of the floors starting out, and it typically gets like more scarce the deeper you go.
Yeah, I'd say like 6 it starts getting a bit scarce, and then about 10 below gets like really, really scarce, I think. Would you say that?
Yeah. Bat swarms are pretty consistent you can get a lot of food from those, and
in the upper numbers.
It was kind of annoying. Like if you eat food, if you drink food, you regain some health. There's some floors that are significantly colder, and that'll make you cold. And if you get cold enough, you start taking damage.
I felt it was so weird to have this in a roguelike game.
Yeah,
I don't think I think it'd be a plus to like I don't know, take the food or something out. Food and thirst or something.
I think food and thirst. I think on its own it could have been okay, but when you combine it to the fact that you go back to the beginning whenever you die, and also the fact that it gets rid of all of your food when
Yeah.
you die, you can just pick up your like crafting materials and stuff. All of your food is just gone. I think
Yeah.
you can still pick up like your water bottle, so you can have like multiple of those, which is okay,
Yeah.
I guess. But it I don't know, it weirded me out that you just couldn't pick. Maybe it's like, oh, your food like rots away or whatever, and you can't. It's not good anymore. But then it makes the game feel so grindy. After you die, you already have to go back down like so many floors, and adding like 20 minutes of grinding for food on top
Yeah.
of that, it just makes dying, which is already really frustrating, even more frustrating. I know you and Noah and a bunch of other people would say like, "Oh yeah, every time I die, I just quit playing the game." And I think when your game punishes dying that much, it just is a real detriment to the overall game.
Yeah, no. Like I agree, like there's been times where I'm just like tonight I'm just gonna play until I die or something. Or if I was actually good enough to like actually stop on my own. But there are times where I'm like, I'm gonna sit down and play for like 3 hours tonight. But then I like die and then I like slowly start a new one. And then I die in that one again, and then yeah, it's just each time it crushes me, and each time it just makes me want to quit more and more. Um, but yeah, the survival mechanics I think is where the glare of the problem begins. And
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think on its own the survival mechanics are a problem, but I think when it's combined with other kind of flaws in the
Yeah.
game, I think they just exacerbate each other.
Yeah. So this is where I learned when I reached floor 6 and then was trying to reach floor like 10. I would take the shortcut from the top of the island down to floor 6, and this was before I like learned that there was really scarce food on the bottom floors.
Mhm.
I thought it was just really random, procedurally generated or whatever for spawning stuff. And it's like I didn't want to go through any of the previous level or floors before because I already went through them all. It was hard enough to like get there. And then as I was going through the floors, I was like noticing no food, and my stomach meter is like halfway down, and I'm like starting to get worried and starting to like run faster and faster and just starting to run past enemies trying to just find food. And like that ended up killing me a few times, and then I realized, oh, before I like start going down, I should farm food on like the first couple floors. And then when I start doing that, I notice it starts getting another run takes like 20 to 30 minutes to like get food, get light, get crafting materials. And taking that long just to start a new run down the floors is just
Yeah,
very,
like
as you said, grindy.
yeah, like no game that is very punishing should also like require you to grind a ton for like materials to keep going.
Yeah.
Like it would be like
Dark Souls,
yeah, it would be
you
like
get punished in that, but
yeah,
you
it would
can
be
just
like if
get
you
up and
died in
go.
Dark Souls and they're like, "Oh, to continue going, you have to like grind for souls."
But
It's
yeah,
like,
you have to grind your Estus flask back.
yeah. Yeah, you've got to like grind in a certain area to get your Estus flasks back.
That's
or
actually pretty
something.
similar to Bloodborne. Like you
Yeah.
have to farm blood files, but
Yeah.
farming
but-
blood files was a lot easier
Yeah, and they're also pretty generous with like how many you get
Yeah.
in that game.
compared to this fucking game.
Yeah. But what else did I have to say? I think it is important to bring up that the audio editing, audio sound design in this game is phenomenal. It's really atmospheric. It changes like depending on where you are, and it gives like a really good sinister feeling. And the art in general is just really good. Like
Yeah,
yeah, I really like the look of like the first cave entrance, like how tall and how thin it looks. Like the entire game has this very weird, like kind of Lovecraftian, cyclopean like style to it, and it's still in this like kind of cartoony video game style, which I dig.
Yeah, I really like the art direction and really the kind of lore and environments of the floors. I think they're really creative and like really great. But the game mechanics behind it make it rough. And also, yeah, the music was nice and the atmospheric tones. Some of the things I really liked was like when I'm trying to find food and there weren't bats around or something, is like hearing for that really soft squeaking noise. And then I know that there's mice around here soon, so I like try to fixate on finding those little black creatures scurrying around. But it's like really easy to pick up on the voice, like the mouse voices and whatnot.
Yeah.
And in general, combat sounds really satisfying when you kill stuff.
Yeah. Now, I really need to bring this up because it was definitely the biggest downside of the game for me. The one-shot kill traps.
Okay. I did not have a problem with them.
I mean,
Are you talking about also in the tentacle floors, like the dark floors as well?
Yes, specifically.
Okay. I can see why it'd be a problem down there. But third floor, like that, it's like that's a training room pretty much. You shouldn't be dying down there.
Well,
on the third floor.
Okay. So my problem with that is that this game obviously has a lot of one-shot kill traps. If you walk into them, you're dead. You got to restart. There's a number of them, not really on the first floor, but on the second and third floor. There's a decent number of them. Yeah. And my problem with that is throughout the game, you have this lantern with you. And if you die, you drop that lantern. You don't respawn with it. And if you don't have that lantern, if you don't have torches, those traps are very difficult to see unless you are going very slowly.
Yeah, pretty much how I adopted to just getting past that is I just walked everywhere instead of sprinting and just like going slowly through the fog of war. And even when the screen gets really dark, the spikes actually stand out because they're white and everything else is like green and black. I'm not saying like it's pure white, but it's like definitely a different color background that you could see the spikes on. But walking definitely saved my life rather than running and chasing into fog.
Yeah, it just feels so bullshit to me. There's also one-shot kill traps between floor like 5 to 9. They're a little bit different. Some of them are a little bit harder to see, actually. Some of them... I actually just saw this one today. It's like this blade thing that like spins around if you get too close to it and like chops your head off. And there are like arrow traps down there that aren't a one-shot kill, but cause like a lot of bleed damage. So if you don't have bandages, you're kind of fucked, and those don't actually bother me too much.
Yeah, I saw in the area with the tentacles, like the traps there. There's also like a bunch of white crystals and traps. So easy to fucking
those particularly annoyed me because those are like floors, like the floors with the black tentacles are the floors that you want to like go pretty quickly on, otherwise the black tentacles are gonna fuck you. And yeah, they just like scatter one-shot kill traps. And those floors are pretty difficult to get to because just based on the fact that you've got to walk like a long time to get like back down to those floors and like grind for the materials that you're going to need.
Right. And you need to spend at least a couple food sources on just fucking walking all the way down there.
That, and you'll like, if you're going down there, you're definitely going to want to grind for like the void helm that like reduces damage and probably some void armor. And you're also going to want a light source for actually when you get your lantern back. And all of that grinding together is probably about an hour. And I don't know, just that stacked on like one-shot kill traps that if you're not paying attention for 5 seconds, they'll just reset you. And that just really annoys me. I wish they had more traps that were like the arrow traps, where it's like they're annoying and they do a lot of damage, but they're not going to kill you. And just the fact that there are so many just one-shot kill traps just feels like it's really trying to artificially make it not difficult and fair. It's difficult because everything is bullshit.
Yeah, I totally thought the arrow traps were much more fair, and it like boggled my mind when I like got hit by one. I'm like, what the fuck is up with like how little damage this does compared to the one-shot spikes?
Yeah, it's just
It's
such a
crazy.
weird like disparity. Like I wish they had more traps in general, but maybe they save like the one-shot kill traps for like some of the deeper floors, and I don't know, maybe you have some of them like on floor 2 and 3 just to like show like, oh, these are a thing, but
Yeah,
I
to
feel like
keep an eye on them.
they use those way too much.
Yeah.
And that also brings up the part of the lantern. That is something else cuz I like that's the first experience I had with like dropping down to like floor 15 is I think I got through floor 15 and then on 16 I died. And the thing about those floors is based on like you literally jump off a cliff to get down there. So you can't go back the way you came. So you have to go through all of the floors and without your lantern, you're kind of fucked against the black
But
tentacles cuz you can like stun them. If you've got the lantern, they're easier to dodge and stuff.
yeah,
And
those black tentacles seem bullshit.
yeah, they're
So
just
these floors, compared to all the rest of the floors, is like there were way less monsters way above. And then once you get to this floor, it's just a bunch of black tentacles and like this black fog that just tries to attack your character. And then along with that, there's like a bunch of crazy black spiders everywhere, and there's a ton of them.
yeah.
And it just seems so chaotic, just running between those, trying to light the lighting crystals to like make everything back away.
And also like just the fact that you can't open any of the shortcuts without your lantern, you can't get any of the bits without your lantern. So if you lose your lantern down there, you pretty much have to like just keep throwing yourself at that like shitty couple of levels until you either beat it or you just give up. Because if your lantern is down there, you really don't have any other recourse besides just getting through those floors. So that's what I did. And those floors are actually, I think, through the funnest part of the game, kind of, because they are really hectic. They are kind of pretty difficult to go through, and it feels really satisfying to beat them. But I feel like being like you have to beat them in order to get your lantern back, I think that's kind of bullshit.
And
I
not
mean,
only that, you still have to grind 30 minutes beforehand each time.
yeah. I mean, I guess you can grind for enough like gems and set like a respawn point at a fire up top, and then just run down, grab your lantern, find a fire, and teleport back up. But it's still a lot of hoops to jump through
Yeah,
to
and
just get your
resources
lantern.
lost.
Yeah,
And then progress, yeah.
especially if you get further in, like floor 17 or 18 or something, and then you got to get back through
All
floor
the
like
previous.
15 through 18.
Yeah.
I mean, you still don't have to like go through, find the key, and open it, so it's a little bit easier to get through the couple of floors, but it's still just it's a slog. It feels like preparing for those runs just feels like a chore.
Yeah. So also to give a perspective, what I ended up doing was turning on God mode.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. So previously I got to level 10 on my own, and then it's like, oh, I have to do the podcast now. We only gave ourselves what, like 3 weeks for this game?
Yeah, something like that.
I think 3 weeks. And the total number of times that I actually jumped on and played the game was like 5 times. Because there's definitely been times where I've just like played one game and then die, and then I'm just like thinking about having to just grind everything out and then go back down to those levels where I'm just like, ugh, just like, and then I just don't play the game for like a whole week or something. Like it just really did feel like a chore to just start the game and play. So yeah, then eventually like I actually found out somewhere on the internet, like these people had just said like, go to this game file in your Steam and type in this line, which is just like settings.god mode equals true. And pretty much you just become invincible. And then I like just pretty much ran through, I think up to floor 16, I think, to just see the rest of the game because I was just getting sick of it.
Yeah.
But I'd say be careful on doing that because apparently for like turning on God mode, there might not be a way to turn it off. Even if you take away that line of code and save it again. And
Like, can you uninstall it and reinstall it?
someone said they tried that and it didn't work. There might be a
Benchmark.
solution now. I don't know. Who knows? But whatever. I'm probably not gonna play the game again without it. Like,
Yeah, I think at this point I've seen the entire game. I don't really feel inclined to go through and find the X number of bits that
the main point of the game.
Yeah, the main point of the game is to find these shards
Fragments, I think.
Yeah, these fragments of your lantern.
There's 20.
Scattered throughout the game. I forget how many there are.
I think there's 20.
Yeah, probably. There's like an outer portion, and then there's an inner portion. Of like the inner portions are like bands. And did you actually try any of like the quote unquote like dungeons?
The dungeons? What do you mean?
The places that you like go all the way down to the bottom. There's like 5 floors each, and you grab something at the bottom, and you need to like get out.
Wait, what floor is this on?
There's one on the 4th floor, the frozen floor, and there's one on the bottom floor, the desert.
Okay. I haven't been to the very bottom one, and I think when I first went to the frozen floor, I didn't know what it was probably, and then I never actually revisited that area once.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened to me on the 4th floor too. I didn't do that, and then I had to come back to it later when I figured out what it was. But it's basically this. Spoiler alerts, obviously, if anybody ever decides to watch this, but basically there's a way that you can go down into these areas, and there's 5 floors each, and you go all the way to the bottom, and you shine your lantern on this big thing, and it gives you that piece of your lantern. And
it's like a big light.
Yeah, it's a big light thing. You actually don't get it until you get out of that particular like quote unquote dungeon. And you go up each floor, and you have to like activate a certain number of these things with your lantern. And once you activate all of them, the next elevator up will open. And there's a bunch of like traps and these little pixel guys that'll try to kill you, like geometric shapes that'll like try to kill you. And there's like some puzzles and mazes, and there are these big one-shot blocks that if you walk into an area, when they slam together, they'll just fucking kill you. And then at the 1st floor, at the top of these things, there's a boss fight. And they're these big, clunky guys who will shoot lasers at you, and then you have to like beat the shit out of them when they open up. And there's 2 of them, and they get you 2 of the inner sections of your lantern. And nice. They're pretty fun.
Yeah, fun actually.
The one reason I really enjoyed them is because they are short enough that you can get through them almost completely with almost no food. You need
just
like
going to floor 4 and then from there on.
Yeah,
that sounds way easier.
Like if you've got like one thing of food, like
floor 20 sounds like a nightmare to try to get those.
There's actually a shortcut to floor 20.
Okay, well then, damn, it's even easier.
Yeah, and the nice thing about both of those things is that if you die in them, your body and your lantern get transported to the beach where you spawn. So you get all of your stuff back immediately. Obviously, you don't get your food back, but those are just like stark comparisons to like the rest of this thing. They're like 2 areas that are like significantly, like gameplay wise, I thought they were a lot more enjoyable than the rest of the game, because
it's multiple short level like floors, like
it's like a chunk of gameplay that you can finish in like 20 to 30 minutes, probably shorter, and there's not that much of a like issue if you die during it. It doesn't reset like a shit ton of progress. You can try it again almost immediately. And those were just significantly more appealing than the rest of the actual game, which I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, both of them were actually pretty cool.
One last positive I want to give, otherwise I don't really have much else to add to this, is one thing I really liked about your character dying was you actually get like a completely new one, like different clothes, and
That I thought was cool.
different skin and all that. Yeah, that actually made it feel really cool.
Yeah, it was a little bit of like interesting like world building stuff because like you go to that area in like near floor 2 and you just see like these wreckages of like 100 different ships and you're like, why are all these people coming here?
Yeah, and then you like pick up from skeletons from your previous people that you played
Yeah.
and take
Yeah, it's
their
like-
stuff. And then the whole lantern is like the lantern's tied to this whole island, I guess.
Yeah.
It's trying to get it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you saw the ending to it.
No, I should have looked it up. I heard from one person like on the internet. I don't know, not a whole lot of people, and hasn't been out long, but I heard the ending was good.
I think it brings up. I think it's interesting.
What is it?
Okay.
Spoiler
I want to bring
alert.
up like one or two other things.
Oh, sure,
Before we go into that.
sure, because I have nothing else.
The one thing I wanted to bring up before that is, did you use the gem storage in the pocket dimension at all?
I did, and I honestly forgot about it a bunch.
Okay.
Honestly, I forgot to go back and like grab more. Though,
Yeah.
like I wasn't really struggling with it because I didn't really reach the lower floors. I think I would have remembered and start using it more for the lower floors.
I actually did not know how to get gems out of it.
Yeah, you. I don't know if you were playing with controller or not.
I was not. I was playing mouse and keyboard
Okay.
pretty much the entire time.
Pretty much what I had to do, I think, was click on it with my mouse button, like the other side,
Yeah.
or it was something with the arrow keys. I can't.
It was
remember
like
exactly.
it was super weird because it was like the same button to put gems in was the same button to take gems out. So if you try to take gems out, it gives you the gem, but then it really
Yeah,
quickly
so-
like puts it back in.
Yeah, you have to like click the other side to highlight that side.
I feel like I did that, but it was still like
It's really weird.
it was the same button to like it was just as soon as I tried to take one out, it would not work and just put the gem right back in.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not sure if it was like glitched or if I was doing it wrong or
Yeah, I've definitely taken gems out before. So I guess you could try messing with
I don't
it.
know. Yeah, I could try fucking around with it a bit more, but that's actually one thing we didn't bring up. It's there's a pocket dimension that you can go to from bonfires, and it's kind of this nice little area that there's a water source, there's a place that you can store your food items, your crafting items, your clothing items, weapons, all sorts of stuff, and you can find pebbles throughout the game. And each pebble has a specific name, and if you put them into this like slot in your little pocket area, it'll add like different little things cluttered around it, and it will also like do things like increase your storage space.
Oh.
And yeah, I don't think I've found all of them yet, but
Yeah, I found one, and then I did it, and then I found another, but I totally forgot what it did. So
I think I found like 3, maybe 4.
I think there is a total of 4.
Then I probably found 3. I don't know. Yeah, I probably found 3 or 4. But beyond that, we can move on to the story, the final story. Spoiler alert, yada yada, all that good shit. Basically, what this ending of the game is you get all of the pieces for your lantern. You go up to the top of that lighthouse. You put your lantern in the thing, and it puts all of the stars into the sky, and all the stars in the sky form like the shape of your lantern, and then they all go out. And then I believe you have to go to this one door in like floor 16, but it's like the area, it's the dark area.
Yep, I remember. Yep,
And
I've seen it.
I think I actually got to that, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah,
And,
I thought it was totally tied to the end game as well.
and I think once all the stars are like out, you can activate that and it opens up, and there's this giant fucking eldritch horror creature there. I'm not even sure if it's like it's a weird looking thing. And basically that starts off the end cutscene, and in the end cutscene your lantern basically changes until it looks more like a portal, and it like transforms into this like the head on this big weird creature, and all the tentacles like grab you and basically it eats you. And I think the final cutscene is like a hard panning shot out of the island, and it shows like this black like thing enveloping like the earth, and that's like the end of the game.
Huh.
And that's actually, I think that's a really cool ending because it's like,
so like 2 monsters that duke it out then in there, your lantern and
no, I think your lantern is actually part of the creature. Like it's like Cthulhu telling you to bring a piece of it back to it.
Oh, the eldritch
so that it
like,
can like
didn't have a head, and
so that it can like take over the world. And I think that's really interesting because it's like an explanation for like all of the different people that are coming here to try to accomplish this. It's like, I don't know. I'm really into reading like Lovecraft and stuff like that, and it's very fitting. Just whispering to all these people like, here, come here, do this, and it's kind of a cool ending. It's not exactly a nice ending, but from like the aesthetic of this game, it probably wasn't going to be anyway.
Yeah.
But I think it's a cool ending to.
I wonder how much I would feel about the ending had I put like 40 hours into the game trying to get through all the levels and all the pieces, though.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Like right now, I hear like, oh, that's pretty cool, but I only invested like 10 hours in the game, and
like I said before, the cutscene of you like of the lantern transforming and you kind of walking into this area, it takes a long time. Like I was watching it on YouTube at like 2 times speed, so that would probably be annoying to me. But because you can't watch it in 2 times speed when it's in game.
Yeah.
But I think the whole ending where it like eats you and it's like, yeah, all of your work was to like just help this thing. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I kind of like that ending.
Yeah.
Other than that, God, how much? Yeah, I said it was $25 at the beginning of this thing. You think you'd recommend it to other people for $25?
If I knew it was really their type of shit. Because there are definitely aspects of this game that I like, but also lots of frustrating things. But I can see why people can like it and dislike it. I think it seems like the majority of people dislike it, especially among our friends.
Yeah, definitely from our friend group, it seemed like
they tried it, died once or twice, a couple times, and they're like, "Fuck this."
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's a good pickup at a cheaper price. 25.
Yeah, 25 is like a little bit too much. I think if it was $15, I think it would be all right.
Yeah, that's pretty
like
decent.
I don't know. Some people like hard games. Like there have been like some weird hard games that we have played. Like Rain World was a very unforgiving kind of game.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is nearly as unique as Rain World and does not have nearly the amount of staying power. But I think it's got to be, you have to be into this kind of game before you play it. Like I've already recorded some footage that I'm going to be putting in with this video. So if you like what you see and you're willing to put up with some frustration for this kind of game, I think it's got to be the right kind of game for you.
Yeah. It's definitely different and won't be for everyone.
Yeah, I would probably not recommend this game to most people.
So we did the Dead Cells as well in the discussion of that. This game is the polar opposite.
Definitely, yeah.
Dead Cells is super fast paced, all about those combos. Like right when you die, you just start up instantly again.
Yeah, it rewards you for
being fast.
Yeah, it rewards you for dying, honestly, kind of.
Yeah, I guess.
Failure isn't a huge deal in Dead Cells. Failure is soul crushing in this game.
Yeah. But when I die in Dead Cells, it's like, oh well, what kind of fun combo am I gonna get this time?
Yeah. What am I gonna do next time?
Boom, instantly, like back to being powerful, like going super fast, getting rewarded from the time doors.
Yeah, because it rewards you. Dead Cells, the thing it rewards you with most is information and skill. Like I said, when I started up a new game of Dead Cells, on like the first or second run, I got to the final boss.
Yeah.
Like on like 1 or 2 uses of the thing. But so like I don't know. I think if I was going to recommend a roguelike to people who game more casually, it would certainly be Dead Cells first of all. I'm not so sure if I would recommend this game unless people like that kind of game.
Yeah. The slow crawl.
Yeah.
It gets pretty intense.
Yeah. I mean,
levels.
The reason I like this whole podcast sort of thing is it gets me to try games that I wouldn't normally want to try.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this game is probably a kind of game that I wouldn't normally want to try, and maybe even a game that I would give up really early on because I don't like it. But I think persevering and just getting yourself to try games to some extent like this game, I think is valuable. And I think this game does have upsides, even if the downsides might even to some extent outweigh them. But yeah, I don't know. If you're watching this, make your own goddamn decision.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree, because like the next game it looks like that we're gonna be talking about is Into the Breach.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not a fan of turn-based games. I'm really picky. Like the only ones I kind of play,
I'm looking forward to it.
Are super situational and or Pokemon.
Yeah, it looks really fucking hard. I played it once on Mitch's Switch, and I wasn't able to beat the first area because
yeah, it seems very strategic.
He had been playing it for a while and still couldn't beat the first area. I think he has at this point, but it looks difficult. It's by the people who made Faster Than Light, which is also a pretty fucking difficult game towards the end of it. But I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm looking forward to getting another Switch game. But other than that, you got anything more to say about Below?
Nope. That's all for me.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next time.
See you guys next time. Probably towards the end of next month.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Definitely.
See ya.